If you shoot a deer, it dies. If you cook a bacteria, it dies. If you blast a cancer cell with radiation, it dies. But there is something out there that breaks every rule of biology. It is not a virus. It is not a bacteria. It is not a parasite. It has no DNA. It has no brain. It is not even alive. And because it is not alive, you cannot kill it. It is called a prion. It is essentially a glitch in the matrix of reality. And once it enters your body, the survival rate is not 50%. It is not 10%. It is 0. It starts by deleting your memories. Then it deletes your ability to walk. Finally, it turns your brain into a literal sponge full of holes. We are worried about a zombie apocalypse from a lab leak. We shouldn't be. The zombie apocalypse is already happening in the forests of North America, and it's spreading. Welcome to the darkest corner of biology. To understand why this is terrifying, you have to understand how you are built. Your body is a machine made of proteins. Think of a protein like a piece of origami paper. If it folds perfectly into a paper airplane, it flies. It works. But a prion is a protein that folded wrong. It's a crumpled ball of paper. In a logical world, your body would just recycle it. But prions are malicious. When a prion touches a healthy protein, it doesn't get fixed. It forces the healthy protein to crumple too. It's a chain reaction. One bad protein touches 2. 2 touch 4. 4 touch 8. It is a slow-motion biological explosion. It silently converts your brain matter into useless junk, cell by cell, until there's nothing left but Swiss cheese. And the scary part? You won't know you have it for years. Let's look at patient 0, the deer. Hunters call it chronic wasting disease, CWD. The internet calls it the zombie deer virus. It starts slowly. An infected deer separates from the herd. It stops eating. It starts to drool uncontrollably. But the most disturbing symptom is the 1,000-yard stare. The lights are on, but nobody is home. The prions are eating the parts of the brain that control fear. A wild deer should run from a wolf or a human. A zombie deer will walk right up to you, looking through you as its brain melts. Eventually, they stumble, collapse, and die. But the horror doesn't end with the death of the host. Remember, prions aren't alive, so they don't die when the deer dies. If an infected deer dies in a forest and its body decomposes into the soil, the prions stay in the dirt. They bind to minerals. They wait. 5 years later, a healthy deer eats grass growing from that patch of soil. The prions enter the new host, and the cycle restarts. Scientists have found prions in plants. They have found them in the dust. You can't sanitize the forest. Once the land is infected, it is cursed forever. You might be thinking, who cares? I'm not a deer. History has a warning for you. Prions can jump species. In the 1980s, the UK had a problem. They were feeding ground-up sheep parts to cows to save money on feed. Some of those sheep had a prion disease called scrapie. The cows ate the prions. The prions mutated. The cows went mad. They became aggressive, lost coordination, and died. We called it mad cow disease. But then humans ate the burgers made from those cows. Years later, people started dying. It was called variant creutzfeldt-jakob disease, VCJD. The symptoms are the stuff of nightmares, anxiety, depression. Then sudden jerky movements. You lose the ability to speak. You lose the ability to swallow. Finally, you fall into a coma and die. The incubation period can be 50 years. That means you could have eaten a tainted burger in 1995, and the prions are sitting in your brain right now, waiting to wake up in 2045. It is a biological time bomb with no countdown clock. If you want to see the purest form of this horror, we have to go to Papua New Guinea in the 1950s. The 4 people had a ritual. When a family member died, they didn't bury them. They ate them. It was a sign of respect. The men ate the muscle. The women and children ate the brain. Suddenly, the women and children started dying. They called it kuru. It translates to the shaking. It started with tremors. Then they lost control of their emotions. They would burst into uncontrollable, hysterical laughter while they were dying. It was called the laughing death. Scientists were baffled. It wasn't genetic. It wasn't bacterial. It turned out one single person in the tribe had developed a spontaneous prion mutation years earlier. Because they ate his brain, the prion spread. Because they ate the brains of the new victims, it spread faster. It was a feedback loop of cannibalistic self-destruction. The tribe was literally eating itself into extinction until the practice was banned. Kuru proves that nature has a strict rule. Do not eat your own kind. If you do, nature triggers a kill switch. So why don't we just cure it? Because you cannot kill what isn't alive. This is the part that keeps biologists awake at night. If you have a surgical tool covered in bacteria, you dip it in alcohol or heat it up, and it's clean. If you have a surgical tool covered in prions, good luck. Prions have been shown to survive. Boiling standard autoclaves, sterilizers don't work. Radiation. Prions have no DNA to destroy, so UV light and radiation do nothing. Formaldehyde. Embalming fluid actually makes them tougher. There have been cases where surgeons operated on a patient with CJD. They sterilized their tools. They used those same tools on a new patient. The new patient got CJD and died. The prions survived the cleaning process. They are essentially indestructible. To destroy a prion, you have to incinerate it at 900 degrees Fahrenheit, 400 for hours. You practically have to melt the metal to clean it. There is one final prion disease. It is rare, but it is the worst fate imaginable. Fatal familial insomnia. It is a genetic mutation. One day, usually in your 40s, you stop sleeping. Not just tossing and turning. Your brain literally loses the chemical ability to enter unconsciousness. Sleeping pills don't work. They just put you into a coma where you are still awake. You stay awake for months, you hallucinate, you panic. Your body fails, you die from exhaustion. It is the only disease where the primary symptom is that you are simply awake until the end. We search the stars for monsters. We fear nuclear war. But the most efficient killer on Earth isn't a bomb or an alien. It's a tiny, twisted piece of protein. A molecular mistake that proves biology is fragile. It reminds us that the line between life and death is blurry. Prions sit in that gray area, waiting. So the next time you see a deer standing a little too still in the woods, staring at nothing, don't go near it. The matrix is glitching. Prions are scary because they are invisible. But sometimes the scariest things are the ones you can see. Nature has created creatures that are so badly designed, their existence is pure suffering. Click here to watch Why It Sucks to Be Born as a Male Anglerfish. You think zombies have it bad? Wait until you see what this fish has to do just to survive.